about to start. We'll talk about code or whatever we'll talk about today. It's about to start, so please hang tight while I check that everything is okay. Sound check, camera check, lights check. How's my hair? Oh, wait, I don't have any hair. Maybe put some pants on and I am good to go. So get ready wherever you are, 'cause this stream is about to start. Get ready wherever you are, 'cause this stream is about to start. Hello, my name is Leandro Facchinetti, and let's write some code together, shall we? Wow, finally! It has been so long since I said this last time. A full year has passed, and what an year it has been. The most amazing year I ever had. Many highs, a few lows, but overall, what a great year. And unfortunately, when it came to the streams, I wasn't able to stream every day as usual. I was only doing a stream every other week on Wednesdays with the C++ Digital Signal Processing Juice study group. But we are about to change that. We are gonna end 2023 on a high note, stream-wise, and we are gonna be streaming often, maybe every day, but probably not every day. You know, we are not making promises here. We have busy lives, but we are going to be engaging in the advent of code for the first time for me. I have never done it before. I have heard of it many times. Many people reporting that they had a lot of fun doing it, but I never committed to doing the advent of code. And well, in case you don't know what the advent of code is, it's this series of puzzles, coding puzzles, throughout December, from the 1st to the 25th of December. And the problems start relatively straightforward and progress in difficulty. Everyone around the world joins for this, and there are some people who want to do it as fast as possible, so they go to the leaderboards for having solved the puzzles really fast. Some people like me are just interested in gathering fun activities and trying out different programming languages, or maybe trying out to come up with the shortest or the most elegant or the most, in some way, unique and interesting answer to the puzzles. Or I guess my main interest really is to just connect with people and talk to them and talk about code and nerd out. It's always fun to do this sort of thing. Speaking of people, I have seen here in the chat that there are some people here already. Check this out. So I really appreciate you all being here. I am very glad that even though I didn't stream every day in 2023, I still have you following and chatting in the chat and showing up. I really appreciate that. So for today, I do have someone, David, who said that he would join us, and he's probably going to join us here on this Skype call at some point. He said that he was going to have some late dinner and then join us on the call. And I want to save the first problem of 2023 to do with him. And we will be probably streaming together often in December. We'll see. He recently visited me, and we spent 2 full days working in a coding puzzle. So it's really the kind of thing that we enjoy doing together. And I should say, if you are watching this and you're like, oh, I would like to join and solve a puzzle together, you absolutely should. In fact, here is the link to the Skype call. And you are all welcome to join and help solve a coding puzzle. It's always fun. And if you have no experience and you're just starting to learn how to program, that's fine. If you have a lot of experience, that's fine as well. We'll take you as you are. The point is just to make friends and have fun and enjoy the end of 2023. before we start with the 2023 Advent of Code, because I want to do that with David, like I said, I will take one of the previous years and take a look to warm up. We are going to be starting with, I already did last year's first puzzle to warm up. When David said that he wanted to do the Advent of Code, I was like, yeah, I want to do it. And then I did 2 of the puzzles from here. So let's get from 2021. And I do want the simplest one. So I think it's going to be on the first day. Yeah, let's see what that's about. Warm up, write a little bit of code. Day 1, sonar sweep. You are minding your own business on a ship at sea when the overboard alarm goes off. Yeah, usually the coding challenges, they come with backstory. You rush to see if you can help. Apparently, one of the elves tripped and accidentally sent the slate keys flying into the ocean. Before you know it, you are inside a submarine. The elves keep ready for situations like this. It's covered in Christmas lights. Ha! What a coincidence. Right before I started streaming, I was watching on YouTube Alec from Technology Connections doing his, I guess it's now a tradition, his annual video about Christmas lighting and how he dislikes LED colored lights. Anyway, because of course it is. And it even has an experimental antenna that should be able to track the keys if you can boost its signal strength high enough. There is a little meter that indicates the antenna's signal strength by displaying 0 to 50 stars. I guess as we progress and solve puzzles, we will be awarded stars. So I think this is just the introduction to the month. Your instincts tell you that in order to save Christmas, you will need to get all 50 stars by December 25th. Well, we'll see about that. Our schedule is going to be flexible. We are not trying to get into the leaderboards, and we are not trying to do every puzzle as it comes out, because there are other life events. I will be traveling in December, and yeah. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. I thought it was going to be 1. Apparently it's 2. Great. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. All right, so 25 days, 50 stars. That makes sense. As the submarine drops below the surface of the ocean, it automatically performs a sonar sweep of the nearby seafloor. On a small screen, the sonar sweep report, your puzzle input, appears. Each line is a measurement of the seafloor depth as the sweep looks further and further away from the submarine. Okay, so we are looking at the seafloor, and these are numbers that report the depth. So I guess this is close to the submarine, this is far away from the submarine, so the slope is going downward. It's getting deeper. This report indicates that scanning outward from the submarine, the sonar sweep found depths of... Okay, that makes sense. The first order of business is to figure out how quickly the depth increases. Or I guess if the depth is increasing, shouldn't it be going... Well, the depth increases, it's going down. Anyway, just so you know what you are dealing with. You never know if the keys will get carried into deeper water by an ocean current or a fish or something. To do this, count the number of times a depth measurement increases from the previous measurement. There is no measurement before the first measurement. In the previous example, or in the example above, the changes are as follows. So there is no measurement, and then you just need to see if the number is larger or smaller than the previous number in the chain. In this example, there are 7 measurements that are larger than the previous measurement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. How many measurements are larger than the previous measurement to begin with? And then this was an example input with a short number of measurements. And then this is going to be the input with a large number of measurements. First, let's implement a solution for this small input. Then we will feed the real input, try to get an answer here. Relatively straightforward, right? And as I said, I will want to experiment with different programming languages and technologies, but I'm just warming up. So I'm gonna fire Visual Studio Code, and I'm gonna do this in a language that I'm used to, because I'm just warming up. I don't want the difficult stuff right away. I will do this in JavaScript. And so this is gonna be our input. I will want to, I have a list here that is given as a string. I will want to process this as a list. So I will split on the new lines. I will map, or no, I will filter each line so that the line, if I trim it, in other words, if I remove the spaces from the left and the right, if it is not an empty line. This is so that I can put as many spaces as I need and I don't have to worry about that. So now I filtered the lines to get rid of the empty lines. I guess to explain this, it's better if I do it step by step, because I have a whole idea in my head and I should be explaining it. So I start with a string. Great, it's just a string. These are new lines. Then I will split the string to get a list. Whoops, I did not copy properly. Or did I? There. This gets me a list, but you will see that some of the inputs are, geez Louise, this zoom feature in macOS is misbehaving. It has some empty elements, right? The first and the last elements are empty. So I can filter them out like so. Now I only have numbers. I will then map each of the lines, or now they are actually numbers, but they are represented as strings. So I'll call this the number string, and I will turn them into actual numbers by passing them into this number function. And now I have numbers. See, there are no longer quotes around them. And I want to process them as numbers because I want to ask questions like, is this larger or smaller? And these are gonna be my numbers. Maybe I should extract this into a variable of its own. I will call this the input. This will make it easier later to copy and paste the real big example. So these are my numbers. Now I will loop over my numbers, and I want to be able to ask questions about the previous number on the list. So I will not simply loop over the numbers themselves. I'm gonna loop over the keys or the indices into this list or array. So this is not gonna be the number, it's gonna be an index. And I will want to discard the first from the list. I will want to discard the number 0. So maybe it's easier if I don't write it in this syntax. It's perhaps better if I say let index starts at 1, because I want to discard index 0, while the index is less than numbers length, and then index plus plus to go to the next one. And with this number 1, I have already discarded this fellow on the first line because it has no previous measurement. Now I will check. I will call this the increases or increase count. It will start at 0, and if the numbers at index is greater than the numbers at index minus 1, then increase count plus plus. Finally, show that. Now apply some formatting. and run that, and we get an increased count of 0. Well, there's probably a problem. Assignment to a constant variable. Okay, let's try again. I think I need a new console for that. There you go, 18. Is that the right number? I don't think so. The right number would have been 7. I must have done something wrong. We have checked that up to the numbers, so sanitizing the input was correct, wasn't it? It appears to not be correct. Let me get a fresh REPL and go through this step by step. That's the problem. The problem is that in the REPL, if you put dot split on the next line, it will do what is called automatic semicolon insertion, and it would put a semicolon here and think that numbers is just the input, which is incorrect. So perhaps what I should do is save this and run it in a file instead of copying and pasting into the console. Or I could just put all of this in a single line, but I prefer to save this to a file. In fact, how about we go into my code folder and we create a repository on GitHub that will hold all our answers. And I'm going to put 2023 in the end of the name because I hope to be able to do this in future years. And I will call this one.js. I'll call it MJS in case we need to import modules in the future. It's nice to say that we are using ECMAScript modules. Or maybe I should create an advent of code and then a folder for 2023. How about that? That's what I'm going to do. The file doesn't want to be moved there. Cute. I will initialize a Git repository here. I will later commit this and push it. Anyhow, now I got the number 7. Yay! So let's replace this with the real input. And that should be our answer. That's the right answer. That's our first solution. We got 1 gold star. Yay! That was not so bad, and yet I goofed up in many ways. That's a good warm-up, right? Something that you feel comfortable doing, but you still need to put some work in. Let's create a public repository for Advent of Code. And now you can go to this URL and see the solutions, perhaps translate to different programming languages, propose improvements, and so on. First part was pretty fun. Oh, okay. So this is about Advent of Code 2023, which Siwitz has already started. I know because he mentioned in the chat in Discord. But I don't want spoilers. I have also heard from another friend that the second part was difficult this year. We'll see. And will I try it in JSFX? Well, what a great idea. Let's try to solve this problem that we have just solved in JSFX real quick while David is eating dinner. We are waiting for you, David. We'll have you with us when we crack open the 2023 challenge. And we also have Bo here. Great to see you, Bo. And I also hope that everyone is doing fine. And Tukan is here. Hey, nice to see you. And I'm still puzzled by the behavior of the zooming function. Is there some new setting in macOS Sonoma? I don't know. Sonoma? Is that how you pronounce that? And David is coming. Oh, I didn't solve part 2, and this is Advent of Code 2021. Don't worry. I'm waiting for you to crack open the 2023 part of Advent of Code. If you're doing it in JS, I will try it here. Okay. David is hopping on the call, but let's try and solve this in JSFX real quick. Well, the first thing I would do to try and do a JSFX version of this is that I would not treat this input as a string. I don't want to deal with strings in JSFX. Is it possible to split, to filter and map and so on in JSFX? Most probably. If you put enough effort, you're probably able to do all this because JSFX has strings and it has all the facilities necessary for processing strings very rudimentarily. It amounts to the C APIs or something close to the C APIs for manipulating strings, which are notoriously difficult to work with. At least in JSFX, we don't have to worry about security problems that I know about. Probably you don't have to worry about the security of your audio effect. It's running in a sandbox. But to make our lives easier in JSFX, I will take this I'll take this shorter list. How do I get back? There. I would take this list and I would cheat, but format it in a way that is already amendable to the code that we need to write. So I would do two things, I guess. I will not...
Hello, Leandro. Can you hear me?
Oh, I hear David. Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, really good, really good. I'm so sorry I'm late. I should have just joined at 8 because the food took ages and whatever. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I will want to check though real quick. Can you say something?
Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Okay.
Also,
we have
let
signal
me
coming from you.
check. So I put these headphones on so that my audio should be better.
Your audio is perfect, yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. And I just wanted to say, out the gate, I'll be honest, I did solve it today already.
Oh, no! I didn't. I heard some people commenting on how easy or difficult they found it was.
Yeah.
But I didn't look at the problem yet. I'm
Okay.
keeping it fresh.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'll do that next time. I'm sorry about that.
How do you want to keep it fresh for you? Do you want to try a different programming language? Do you want to try solving it in the most optimal way, or maybe code golfing or something?
So I did it in Python. I think it'd be cool to solve it in C++, because I also think that it makes sense in the beginning more to experiment with languages, because like it will be easier problems, right?
Okay.
And then, but up to you, I guess.
Okay, so let's finish what I started, and I started on trying to translate JavaScript into JSFX, and I was gonna cheat. So what I would do is, I would have, do you know in Visual Studio Code a simple way of adding like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on? Because I don't. I always...
Yeah, there's a thing called like text pastry. I mean, it's a plugin, it's an extension. So, so should I be watching your screen on YouTube, or are you going to share it?
Yeah. I was planning on doing a live share, but
or VS Code live share works for me too.
Okay. So I will set up a live share and send you the link, which will take me a sec here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm gonna switch to this view for the stream, so people are only seeing my face as I do this, because I'm not sure that I should be sharing this link with the world. Don't know how live share works, but I kind of am sharing it with the world anyway, because I'm putting it on the Skype conversation that I posted a link for. But anyway, on the Skype chat, you should be able to find the link for the live share. And from there, you will be able to see my console and all of that.
Yeah.
So what I typically do is I when I need to create lines with number increments, is I go to Node and I write a little script that does that real quick, but I'm not going to do it right now. What I will say is that I would put like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on programmatically here. And I guess I'm not going to write real code. I'm just going to explore the idea with pseudocode. I would also have something like a length of the input, which in this case happens to be, there are 10 inputs. So I would do this. And that subsumes that. So this is valid JSFX. This for loop needs to be rewritten. I will accept read write. Okay, that's for live share for David to see what's going on. So I would need to loop over the input length. Awesome. And then I would do this check, which happens to translate very well to JSFX. This is slightly different in JSFX. And then the console log is not going to be a console log. There is now in JSFX a debug thing that I don't know how to use because I haven't used it too often, but I would just look at the number of this variable in the little debugger on the right-hand side of JSFX. So I'm going to count as this being my attempt at solving the problem in JSFX. How about that, people? Anyhow, this was not 2023, in fact, this was 2021. Let's open the folder for 2023 and get ourselves started. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So did you share? Oh, yeah. Cool.
And I'm also sharing my screen with you here on Skype to make things easier for you. This way you can type the code and you can also see the screen.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Day one, it's starting, people. Woohoo! And you may be wondering, why didn't I put David on the screen? That's because I'll figure it out for tomorrow or for the next stream. I don't know how to do that easily, and I was going to use NDI, and then OBS NDI didn't work. I guess you just have to make do with hearing him, but not seeing him today. Anyway, day one. Trebuchet.
I'll turn my camera off in that case.
Well, from time to time I am coming here to the Skype window, so maybe you want to leave it on. Anyway, something is wrong with global snow production, and you've been selected to take a look. The elves have even given you a map. On it, they've used stars to mark the top of... To mark, not the top, the top 50 locations that are likely to be having problems. You've been doing this long enough to know that to restore snow operations, you will need to check all 50 stars by December 25th. We'll see about December 25th. Collect stars by solving puzzles.
We're going to do it, Leandro. Definitely.
2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. We know the drill already. You try to ask why they can't just use the weather machine. Okay, that's a throwback for people who have been doing it for a while. Not powerful enough. And where they are even sending you the sky, and why your map looks mostly blank. You sure ask a lot of questions. And hang on, did you just say the sky? Of course, where do you think snow comes from? When you realize that the elves are already loading you into a trebuchet. Okay, that's like the thing that throws, right? Okay. Please hold still. We need to strap you in. Oh, I would love to be thrown in a theme. Would you like to be thrown in one of these? Is this something that they do in amusement parks? I would love that.
Do they?
I don't know. It's just, if they don't, I think they should. I would totally be down for that.
I'd be up for the yeah.
You seem like the kind of person who would do this.
Perhaps, yeah.
As
But
they
yeah,
are,
I didn't. That's good knowledge, by the way, Trebuchet. I didn't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it really. But yeah, I definitely didn't know without clicking on the link what it was.
well,
I have to say, I like all this cute. There's a lot of story here, which is very cute, which has nothing to do with the problem.
yeah, it's just fun and games.
Yeah, but it's nice.
And I suppose that this is a French word, and you do speak French, so it surprises me that you didn't have an intuition of how to pronounce it. And I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right. But anyway. As they're making the final adjustments, they discover that their calibration document, your puzzle input, has been amended by a very young elf who was apparently just excited to show off her art skills. Consequently, the elves are having trouble reading the values on the document. The newly improved calibration document consists of lines of text. Each line originally contained a specific calibration value that the elves now need to recover. On each line, the calibration value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit in that order to form a single 2-digit number. For example, I guess this 1 ABC 2 would be 1 2. In this example, the calibration values of these 4 lines are 1 2, and in this case it would be 38, and in this case 2 and 5, or 1 and 5. Okay, adding this together.
The last example is worth looking at as well.
Because this one doesn't have 2 number 7s. It becomes 77 because the first 7 comes from the left, the second 7 comes from the right. I get it. Adding these together produces 142. So we are collecting these numbers, then adding them up. Cool. Consider your entire calibration document. What is the sum of all of the calibration values? All right, let's get to it. And you want to do it in C++, you say?
Yeah, sure.
I want to do it in C++ as well.
Yeah, I mean, this first part should be fairly doable in C++.
So I will call this 1.cpp, and I will get the ceremony out of the way. Is there any suggestion? No. Int main. And could we read this stuff from like the standard input or something like that? Yes, but I won't. I will just create an array of strings to process. I wonder how to do that. I don't really know. Do you know?
No. Although, if you paste them in, I could convert them to the full. I reckon I could do it, yeah. Okay. So, like, what you can do is you can just select those and then do that and then do that. Oh, I guess this one as well we needed to do. Sorry, that was my bad. And then, isn't it that? It's like
that seems about right, yes.
Something like this. I can't remember the exact syntax.
I think that the type comes first. So it's going to be string, array, and then a name. So something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that string is from a library. So we will probably have to include some string stuff or something like that. Yeah,
and probably we shouldn't be using arrays. Probably we should be using just vector or whatever. But
yeah, good call, good call. I wonder if it is under vector. Yep, it seems to be. And then, well, I have no idea what the syntax looks like. I will start Googling here.
I wonder if Copilot works here.
Well, not on my machine because I don't have Copilot.
Yeah, but does it work on mine? No, it doesn't. because
You will have probably access to some of your extensions. Yeah, maybe not all of them, but some of them you will have
yeah, it
access
doesn't
to.
look like Copilot works here.
Displaying a
Trust
vector
this
of
workspace.
strings.
Okay, so I can trust, and then it will. Ah, okay.
Ah, well, I got it. It looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it as well.
Yeah, Copilot's working now.
Okay.
Are we?
Can I do this?
Yeah, of course. Do it. Yeah.
Or I guess this is one input. It's just a series of lines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next thing I want to do is, why is it complaining about my name? Does it have a special meaning?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, you cannot initialize it with an initialization list. Is there an easy way to initialize a vector with some special syntax? 7 different ways. Wow. Yeah, pushing back, okay. There is a way to initialize with the same value repeatedly. Okay. Ah, this is what I want. Okay. So it just looks like this. Easy peasy. Or does it? It's still complaining.
Do we need a semicolon? Don't know if that's... It still seems to be complaining, yeah.
Well, it seems to be complaining about the end of line. Don't tell me that this is what you want. Also, I'm not so sure about the single quotes in C++. I'm going to change them to double quotes just in case, because in C, the single quotes have like
That's
a
a good
special
point.
meaning.
Yeah.
But it's still not it.
Can I try something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I will... Yeah, let me just take this. And let's just see if Copilot can do its magic.
Fair enough.
That's what it says to do.
Yeah, that's what we wrote.
Yeah, that's what we wrote.
Could it be that my
vector.
environment here doesn't know about some new C++ syntax, perhaps? Let's try to just save this and compile it and see what happens. So I will get into the 2023 folder.
Yeah.
And I will clang++ and 1.cpp. I want the output to be 1.
I also wonder, like...
Yeah, it's complaining about that. Maybe I should...
It is complaining?
I'll take a look real quick in the C++ digital signal processing just study group repository, because there I have a make file that specifies a different version of C++, and we can go with like C++ 11 or 17 or a later version. Okay, that's how you do it.
Yeah, this is really how people say to do it. Is it? It's not because of like... Oh, wait. It's not because of...
There you go. Yeah, it's probably just a new version of C++. I ran with C++ 11 and C++ 17, and it didn't complain, and it runs. It's all right. So this is the proper syntax. Let's not pay too much attention to the squiggly red lines on my text editor.
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense, yeah.
And there are ways to tell my extension that does the squiggly lines which version of C++ I'm using, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
So we have the inputs. Now we need to loop over the inputs. How do you do that? I will call this the inputs or input lines or something. There is a kind of for loop that will go over an enumeration. I think it looks like this. something along those lines. And I wonder if
This
auto
is what
will
Copilot
work.
is great for.
Let's see. Humans versus machines. Yeah,
I'll do.
I got it right.
Okay, fair.
Then input is now one of these guys. And the next thing that I want to do is for each of these, I will want to run. I'll go and do this with a regular expression. So I will want to run a regular expression to match the first number that I find on this string. Do you want to drive? Do you want to do the Copilot thing here? It seems like you're excited to use Copilot. Do you want to do it?
No. Well, the regular expression. So you want to do it with a regular expression. You don't want to parse it.
Well,
I
I'm
guess
parsing with a
that's
regular expression, right?
Okay, let's go. Regex, find digits, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to do this, to be honest. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Does it have regex in C++?
Well, of course.
Okay.
If there is a feature, it exists in C++.
Yeah, dumb question.
So that's the regular expression itself. Now we need to execute it to match with a string.
Yeah, so is this correct, though? Do we want to, like, get
No,
several?
we don't want all of them. We want just one.
Yeah. And then, like, maybe just, like, iterate through the matches?
No. I just want the first. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Do you know what I'm going to do? Do you have...
Google it?
No. I mean, for the general solution, my approach.
You're going to get the first one and then get the last?
I'm going to get the first one, and then I'm going to reverse this string, and I'm going to get the first one again.
I didn't see that coming. So
that's to solve the problem that you very smartly pointed out, that sometimes we don't have two number sevens here.
Yeah.
So this will make it simpler.
Thing is you could, yeah. I mean, the way I did it was I got all of them and then just got the first one and then the last one. But, like, the last one ends up being the first one anyway, so...
fair enough.
So we've got the match and the... Okay.
Yeah, I don't love the way that this reads, but it's all right.
So what's smatch? A smatch is a...
What's a smatch?
A string match, I guess.
There is no documentation, so...
Okay, and then... Okay, let's print that out. Then...
Well, to do that, I will include... I forget. It's not a CIO, is it? No, that's the C thing.
What are you doing?
I'm importing the library you need to be able to say cout. Or I'm trying to anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do a hello world in C++ real quick here on Google to get that import for us.
Include IO stream. I got it. Copilot got it for us. So I guess we can try and run this.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 8, 1, 5, 7, 7. 1, 2. Oh, it's getting all the numbers. Isn't that interesting? It's getting all the numbers, not just the first. So regular expression search will give you all of them. Oh, no. You are doing already the reverse. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is the proper thing to output. Okay, I haven't realized that you have done these lines. Okay, so in that case, now we want to concatenate two strings. So we want to concatenate match.str from here and match.str from there. We want to concatenate these two strings.
Yep.
Can I take the lead for a quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so auto first digit equals that. And I'll get rid of this line. Then I'll get rid of this line. And it doesn't seem to love my auto here, but I guess that's just something we can ignore. Then I will do that again here, and I will call this the last digit. I wonder if I can concatenate strings with the plus. I wonder if the special string type in C++ has overloaded the plus operator. Stands to reason that it did. So this would be a string representation of our number. How do I transform?
With C?
Huh?
Is that based off your experience with C, or like?
That's based on intuition about programming language design, right? That's what you would want the language to do. So let's suppose that it does it. And then...
Oh, yeah. For strings, right? Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I mean, there are languages that will concatenate strings doing this. There are languages that will do other things, but this is the most intuitive for me, so I'm going to try it. And I do now want to convert a string into a number. Can you do that for us?
Cast, I guess?
No, I don't think so.
Parse integer? I don't know. Is there a parse integer? Is there an integer constructor which takes a string?
Well, I'm Googling. There is s2i. We can try that. String to integer. Yeah, it seems to exist. Doesn't seem to give us problems. So now we want to accumulate this.
C++ naming.
What?
Classic C++ naming.
Yeah, I guess this dates back from the C days. And then I think that an integer will be enough to store this value. So I will say integer sum equals 0, and then sum plus equals that. And then we will want to stdout sum. And I will also print a new line at the end for convenience. Then run that, and we should get 142. That's what we should get. And we do. So
perfect.
We should be able to now replace our test input with the real input.
I can sense some multi-line cursor coming along.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to do that?
I am. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Oh, nice.
I'm goofing it up, but I'm doing it.
This is the kind of thing which would take like 4 years to be able to do this in Vim. 4 years of training.
No, don't say that. Don't start that war.
Sorry.
And this is going to be our answer for the first challenge of 2023.
The first part of the first challenge.
Yeah, the first part. Did we get it right? That's the right answer. Yay! Hey. Virtual high five.
I'm high-fiving, but I'm turning on my video as well, really slowly.
Look at that, people. We got it.
Nice.
Oh, and meanwhile, Siwitz is giving us here the answers. Thanks. All right. Now, everyone was telling us that this was going to be the hard part. So I'll continue to part 2. And if necessary, I will resort to a programming language that I already know. Let's see. Your calculation isn't quite right. It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters. 1, 2, 3, and no 0? Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and not 0. Okay. Also count as valid digits. Equipped with this new information, you now need to find the real first and last digit on each line. In fact, when I was looking at the inputs here, I noticed that there were like these things stood out to me. Okay.
That's
so
very observant of you.
So in this case, it would be 2 and 9. So the answer here will be 2 and 9. All right. So my approach here, my gut reaction is to get to my regular expressions. How convenient. So it's either 0 to 9 or, and apparently 0 doesn't count.
Is there some unified like regex language? There seems to be like some slight variance between languages, but there also seems to be some like agreement as well.
Yeah, the truth is that each regular expression engine will have its own idea of what a regular expression means and how it should run. There is somewhat of a standard that comes from Perl, which is a language that has pushed forward the idea of regular expressions. And is it PRCE? It's something along those lines.
Is it the original regular expression language? Surely not.
No, surely not. But it's PCRE, Perl compatible regular expressions. I almost got it right. And this is somewhat of a standard, but not really. It depends on the language. But I'm supposing that the OR is going to work for us. And apparently there is no 0, so we're just going to spell out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then when we match, we shouldn't just do this. We should first convert our match string into the right digit. So I am thinking of doing this with something kind of silly, but probably workable. Just gonna look like this. Is this the most elegant solution? Perhaps not. Is this gonna work? Perhaps yes. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And otherwise, first digit.
For the last digit as well.
I will have to do that for the last digit as well.
Are you just gonna dupe the code?
I will.
Okay.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah. Nice. That's some brilliant multicast there.
Well, thank you.
Usage. There's a risk that it's going to paste it like 10 times on each.
Yes, you have to have the exact number of cursors right.
Yeah.
Boom. So this is going to do the conversion first, but that's not all. We all know that that's not all. We will still have to do the regular expression here differently. So this digit regular expression will need to be reversed to work here with the reversed input. So instead of just digit regex, I will have another one of those that I will put there, and I will call this the reversed digit regex, in which I will reverse each one of these. How will I do it? Well, by resorting to the language that I know better. But that's not cheating because it's not going to be part of the final output. So I'll do this and that and this, and then map, and of course this is JavaScript, and I'll maps x to x dot reverse. I wonder if strings have the reverse method. I actually
You could
don't
have just
know
reversed the...
Reverse is not a function, so string reverse is not a function. How do I reverse a string in JavaScript? And I thought I knew JavaScript. Whatever. I'll split it on nothing, which matches everything. Reverse is a method in an array, and then I will join with nothing, and there. I will console log this as JSON, just because the formatting will suit me better. And then I will get rid of all the double quotes, and I will turn all the commas into that. And this will give me the regular expression that I need.
Efficiently done.
But that's not all. We will need to reverse. How did we reverse the input? That's odd. Because I will need to reverse the match as well when I do this last digit thing. Well, I guess I would just say last digit. Then I will say something similar to this, but with last digit. And that's what I'm actually going to use there. I'm doing this so that I don't have to reverse these guys. Maybe I should just reverse those guys. I will reverse those guys. Take it back.
I see.
I take it back. So you're still working with the last digit, but I'm going to work with this.
Okay.
You don't seem terribly happy about my decision here.
I just feel like it might make more sense to get the last match rather than reversing everything. But anyway, let's continue down
Yeah,
this.
I'll power through. I admit that my idea here didn't really work out as well as it could have. But if it gives us the right answer, then I'll take it. I can see that the stream is struggling a bit. Are we dropping frames? Yes, and the encoding is overloaded. I'll try and fix this for the future days. So now I expect the result of this program to be 281. And it's 22. What could have gone wrong? Surely one of our crazy regular expressions?
Is this for the example?
Yes.
Okay. Probably in some of the reversing. Let's have a look at the examples.
Yeah.
So 6 is an interesting one because it's 16, but we don't care about that, I guess. And there's 1 and 8, which is interesting because it's like 1 is part of the word 8.
You
see that?
No. What are you talking about?
The second to last example. 1 8. 2 3 4. So it would be 1 and 4, but it could be something else. If it was like, if you didn't have 2 3 4, then it would be 1 8, I guess. I don't know.
I see what you mean. And
but
What else? You said something else about some other number?
Just 16 is just a bit of a red herring because 16, yeah, we don't care about that.
Yeah, it is just the number 6, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And 7, 6. Okay.
But maybe let's just print out like what the numbers that it
What numbers
got
we're
out
actually
with.
getting, right?
Yeah, and see where it went wrong.
Could this be parsed wrong? I find that this syntax, the formatting, the auto formatting, not syntax, the auto formatting here was a bit weird. I wonder what is the precedence between plus and question mark. So I wonder if this is doing the right thing. I'm gonna put some parentheses. And I'm gonna format again. And then I can be sure the formatting looks better, and I can be sure that it's not goofing up on that. Because, it's C++. I don't know the operator precedence.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. That was that. 281.
Oh,
All right,
well,
let's move on to the real input. It was operator precedence. Ha! I'm very happy about having gotten this one. Oh, and I already had the input, right? The input is the same, I suppose.
Definitely got me before.
Yeah, the input is the same, and I already have it in the right format. So now, people, for the real Slim Shady, please stand up because we're getting a number in the console. And that number is not coming quickly. Maybe you shouldn't be doing so many regular expressions. But, Yay! We did it!
Hey, nice. Hey, congrats.
Good job, us. High five.
Good job, you. It took me a lot longer, actually. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why most people actually struggled a little bit. And that is because of look ahead and how regex works by default in most languages. And clearly in C++, it will use that 1.8 example.
Let's put it on the screen. Events 2023. And
So if you just
okay, 1.8. So this example, okay.
Yeah, so if you just put 1.8, just get rid of the 2, 3, 4 and put that as an example in the in your program. Probably it will do it correctly, and it will say it starts with 1 and ends with 8. But the way that Python regex and JavaScript regex and Rust regex, they all work, they don't do that look ahead. So they'll consume and then they'll continue after, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, that is the right answer here, 1.8. And I see what you mean, and that's the correct behavior in a regular expression engine. If you want to ask the question match all, then you should be consuming characters from left to right. Ooh, I matched. Okay, I'm gonna start new as if the string was this. So
right,
that's what I want, right?
No, but that's not what you're doing, right? That's not what C++ is doing. C++ is...
The regular expression engine in C++ is behaving like that, but we are using the regular expression engine in a very particular way that does not exhibit this property because we are doing one match. Then we are saying, okay, done with that. Okay, I'm going to do another regular expression search from scratch.
Yeah, it's because we're doing 2 regexes.
This is the key.
Yeah. Sorry,
it's not even the fact that this is a different regular expression from that.
Yeah.
Even before, when we were doing it without these shenanigans that necessitated a second regular expression, even before that, it was the call to regular...
By virtue of the... Sorry to interrupt. It's by virtue of the whole reversing idea that we were saved in the end.
Yeah, the regular expression search did this. We called it twice, so it is starting fresh. And yeah, that's what does it for us.
Yeah. Very smart. Yeah, so I used the look ahead operator, which I haven't used in a very long time. and then that kind of solves it for me.
I want to see that.
I can show you. I'll just paste the code in.
Into
Can I create a
Skype?
new file, a Python file?
Oh, I can give you a Python buffer real quick.
Yeah, sure.
There.
Okay, and then let me find Python buffer. I don't see a Python buffer.
Oh, do you see one or do you see 3 tabs on your Visual Studio Code?
I see a lot. I see 4.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
I have a tab here that reads hello in Python. Do you
no.
see that?
Let me just create a document. I think I can create a document like 1.py,
Okay,
and then you should see that.
I see that. Okay, so this is your answer. Let's take a look. You are, well, first of all, you're using a file.
Which is overkill, I know.
Second of all, you are doing this OS path dir name. I guess that's so that you can do a relative path. Okay.
Yeah,
Then
it's just because
you're
I was
typing
just like
your
running
program.
it, whatever. Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, sorry, no, the dir path is just so like I have a command which automatically runs a file and it just works easier with that. I'm not using any of these types, so I can delete those. It's not the cleanest code, but yeah.
Well,
it works.
look at our code, right? From one CPP here. But okay, so you have your values, and then you are accumulating all of them into a list, and then you're using the sum. Okay, fair enough. You're not doing the accumulation as you go. Then word to int string, so you have a map of the number and their spellings. As integer string, you are looking up into this list if the thing is in the list, otherwise X, so this amounts to this monstrosity. So far, very similar. Then you are reading the lines like that. Okay, we didn't have to do that because we copy and pasted the input. Then you're doing a find all. So that's the problem, right? That's the problem. It's not the regular expression, it's the find all that is the problem. But given that you're using find all, you have a regular expression, and this is a look ahead, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's a look ahead of a group that is either a digit or 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, so the importance of the look ahead is that it does not consume the characters as it's progressing through the string.
Exactly.
So it's going to be able to find all occurrences of these substrings into the string. That's so clever. I didn't know that look ahead would work this way. But it's always starting from the beginning. So it's going to try and find all the possible digits, then starting from the beginning, all the possible ones, all the possible twos, and so on. And it does that in order. That's very clever. So effectively what it does is it takes this input string and it starts, okay, from the beginning, I'm going to try to match either a digit or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and so on. Okay, I have been able to match 1. Okay, so now I'm going to start from the beginning again. I will not allow myself to match this same one again. Otherwise, I will go into an infinite loop. But I will go from the beginning of the string and I will try to match any of the digit or 1 or 2 or 3 and so on. And then I go, oh, okay, I found 8. All right, I'm going to start from the beginning again. I'm not going to allow myself to match this 1. I'm not going to allow myself to match this 8. But I'm going to try to match all the other things. So that's how it's thinking, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool. That's very smart.
And then this R here is another. Apparently, Rust doesn't support look ahead regex, which is kind of crazy. But this R is an interesting quirk of Python, where It just basically means you don't need to. It's useful for regex so that you don't need to escape things, basically.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So this \d, for instance, it's not processed as a escape operator for a string. It's like a regular expression or a raw string. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We do have that in JavaScript as well. It's spelled like this.
Ah, I didn't know that.
And yeah, this is very clever. And I suppose I can take a guess as to why Rust doesn't have look ahead. It is because all of this thing that I was explaining, starting from the beginning every time and all of that, seems computationally intensive, right? And maybe they want to avoid either the computational complexity, as in they don't want you to accidentally write a regular expression that is going to be super, super slow to run. Or maybe even they don't want to have the implementation complexity, because all of this thing I explained seemed relatively straightforward at face value. But if you combine it with all the other things that a regular expression engine is capable of doing, it will interact in weird ways with other features and potentially make your engine very difficult to implement and test and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very exact. You're exactly on the point. I mean, I saw a comment about that basically the reason it hasn't been implemented is because can't find an efficient way of implementing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, there is. If you really implement a lot of regular expression features, I mean, strictly speaking, at some point you're not even doing regular expressions anymore. In Ruby, which has a regular expression engine that is very powerful, I don't remember what the features are, but there are some features in Ruby that actually make it into context-free language, not a regular language anymore. So if I remember correctly, I think it is the fact that you can name a pattern, and then you can reuse the name of that pattern in other places. And then if you do it in a clever way, you can match, recognize matched parentheses. Why did balloons flow up on my face? That's odd. Did you see that?
I didn't see that, no. Was that, maybe that's...
Yeah, on the camera, I saw some balloons going up in my face. That was weird. Well, anyway, so...
So Ruby, yeah, you were just saying how Ruby has a very...
Yeah, and then it's so powerful that it actually is no longer a regular language. It's now a context-free language, which is all right. If you think about it, there are plenty of parser generators that generate parsers and recognizers for context-free languages. But it means that your engine is going to get really complicated and potentially really slow too. There are ways for you to write a regular expression that is going to be exponentially slow as your input grows. It's exponentially slower as your input grows. Yeah, so there you go. Trade-offs. Great power, great responsibility.
A 1 minute explainer between the difference between context-free languages, regular languages, and then a language?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it is relatively straightforward. The difference between a regular language and a context-free language, very roughly speaking, okay, I'm just going to give you an intuition for how these things go, is that a context-free language has like an internal counter. So if you have a string of parentheses and you want to see if they match, for instance, do you have matched parentheses here, right? I guess I'm going to put this in the Python buffer so you can see this. So are these parentheses matched or not? Matched as in, do the colors match well, or do I have a parenthesis that is mismatched, like this red one? If you want to do that with a regular expression, without the fancy features that you find in some languages, you are not able to do that. And you are not able to do that because you cannot count. The way that you would do this intuitively is you would go from left to right and you would count. I'd start at 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. You ended at 1. You didn't end at 0, mismatched parentheses, right? But in these numbers, and the counter that I was talking out loud, you don't have this in a regular expression. And in context-free language, you sort of have this power. And it's not that there is an explicit counter, but in...
You mean state?
Kind of, yes. It don't really have a counter. You don't really have state in a context-free language. But what you do have, is a way of saying something like, so I'm gonna say by definition that parents is a production rule in my grammar, and it is either nothing at all or...
Is this boys cot normal form thingy? What's the BDNF or something?
Yeah, I'm writing in roughly that kind of grammar that you find in like RFCs for stuff, and like that. So I'm saying that the parents, the production rule parents, is either an empty string or it is open parents, close parents, like so. And this means that you can start with the production rule parents and just decide to stop right away. So you end up with an empty string. Or you can do this and use the production rule again. So you get another chance of expanding the parents here. And this second time around, you may decide to go with the empty string. So you end up with this. Or you may decide to go with that one. And then you end up with that. And so on and so forth. And with that, you see that you get matched parentheses every time. There is also another production rule here, which could be like parents plus parents.
Yeah.
And then you are able to do, well, essentially like that.
Yeah.
And then with that, you'll be able to recognize that language that I showed before. So the fact that
this is a context-free language.
This is a context-free language, and when you're looking at the grammar, a telltale sign of the context-free language is that you have the recursive bit sandwiched between two terminals. That's some power that a regular expression does not have. In a regular expression, if you write a regular expression as a grammar, which you can do, you will not get any non-terminal sandwiched between two terminals like this. I'm fairly confident about what I just said. Not 100%.
And then, I guess, very finally, before we close this, it would be, then what's the difference between a context-free language and then just a programming language? Is it whether it's Turing complete or... Well,
we are talking about the parsing. So the parsing of a Ruby program, the parsing of a Java program, the parsing of a JavaScript program.
Yeah.
Usually is context-free enough. If you look at just the parsing and the abstract syntax tree that is produced by the parser, it's usually context-free-ish.
Yeah.
As in, you can write those production rules that I was writing for parsing these languages. So most programming languages are going to be context-free. Now, of course, in the real world, programming languages are much more complicated than that. For Perl, for instance, just parsing Perl is undecidable. Because and this is true of tech as well, parsing tech, as in LaTeX, is undecidable. And that's because when you are writing your program, you can change some things about the parsing rules of the program that is going to follow. In tech, for instance, you can define what it means to ingest a character, to use the terminology in tech. So you can change what it means for it to parse the rest of the program. You can change the syntax of the rest of the program. So you have the power in the language to change the syntax of the language, which is, of course, a full Turing machine thing. So if you look at languages that are relatively reasonable, they're going to be context-free. If you look at languages in the real world, they will get crazy.
Makes sense. Awesome. Well, thanks for that explainer.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
And I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, so I want to first react to what people have to say here on the chat, and then we need to talk about when we will be able to do this next time. And then let's see what we have here.
Everyone's just commenting on how clever your solution was.
I hope you're ready for part 2. In my humble opinion, the hardest part 2 for day 1 ever. Wow. Wow.
It's because nobody went down the reverse string route like you.
I am the only one silly enough to spend time considering doing this.
Your intuition paid off.
There is some lack of info in the description that made me misunderstood. Well, let's take a step back here. What led me down that? I think it was the way they phrased it. They phrased it as on each line, the value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit in that order. The way I read that, it sounded to me like I want to get that last digit. What is the best way to get the last digit? It's to go from right to left in the string, right? To get the last one, I will go from right to left. But I know that it's rare or maybe inexistent that a regular expression engine will let you go from right to left. So what's the way to go from right to left? You reverse the string. So I guess that's why I ended up going there. But anyway. The approach I took made it a non-issue, but when somebody on stream suggested doing it with a regular expression after I finished, I noticed the tricky parts. Yeah, the regular expression that we wrote ended up being so simple that maybe regular expressions were unnecessary to begin with. But anyway, there are 2 easy hacks you can do to make a regex solution work, and I guess that's either calling the engine twice and doing the thing you did, right?
Yeah, I actually wrote a function because I couldn't get I was like, why isn't my regular expression working? So I wrote a function to like validate why it's not working. And then I had an implementation with just a function. And then I went back to the regex to make the regex a little bit, tweak it a little bit to make it work. So yeah, pretty similar to that guy.
Okay. But I didn't expect to stream over an hour this morning when normally it's like a 5-10 minute deal for day 1. Okay, I spent 2 hours to get things to work, but got the wrong answer. Oh no! It's gonna happen to us, don't worry. Let's see if Leandro will face the same issue. For FIY, it seems like the PC really struggles to view this with the small camera in the corner. It's always low frame rate delayed, but when you have a split screen to cam, it's smooth. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this with a 2-computer setup. Use it. It will be much better in the next days. You can easily follow what's going on screen, so don't worry. It's just the camera that appears sluggish, so it's nothing to worry about at this point. Yeah, I do want the stream to look smooth. And I will get David here on the side. It will be awesome. And that's a lot faster than I managed. That's all right. And idea for looking for beginning and from end, but not straightforward. I just looked from both sides, checking each character to find the matches. Yep, essentially what we did. I saw a clever solution in C++ on Reddit where somebody added a regular expression with back and front, which also solves that issue of the possible overlap, which I thought was very clever. So there is, in C# the thing that I wanted, a way to run a regular expression from the end to the beginning and get the last result and not the first. I think I have another way of doing this. Let's see if it works. And I will use JavaScript because it shouldn't really matter.
Sure.
So let's get our troublesome string. Where was it? 1H. That one. Just this. Well, I kind of wrote it down. Why am I doing this? So if I wanted a regular expression to find the first, I would just do Bear with me. All right. So this will find us the first one. If I want the last, what I could do is skip all the characters and then find that. Is this gonna work? No, it doesn't. Oh, that's too bad. I thought that this dot star was gonna consume all the characters greedily and try and find the last match. Because that's what it was supposed to do, right? And this would do it eagerly. But both are doing the same thing. What if I replace this with a plus? Well, that's better. But it wouldn't work if I had anything here. Wait, what? Oh, because it's matching the dot as well, so I should probably do a back reference that I don't want to keep. Is this how you write this? No, that's not even syntactically correct. Well, forget it. I just wanted to try the idea of trying to consume all the characters and then do the regular expression. Anyway, that didn't work. You were going to say something, David?
That? Yeah, I don't really see your logic. If you just consume all the characters, won't it just consume all the characters and then not?
Well, it was going to consume all the characters up to finding one of these. Oh, I guess it's going to find this one, right? Oh, shucks. I wanted a way to make the regular expression engine try to jump to the end, anchor the thing to match the last one, in a way. But no, and
maybe it doesn't match. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't think there is in JavaScript any match from the end kind of deal.
Is it possible that this might be really stupid, but just reordering the regex?
Do you mean reordering this with respect to that?
Or I guess you'd have to. That's basically the equivalent of doing.
What does Google say about?
I guess you could get all the indexes and then sort them or something. Like that. If you did all the but that would just be multiple regexes rather than one regex, which is also fine.
Regular to match the end of the. No, I don't want to match the end of the string. I want to match from the end to
or match last.
Or match last. Yeah, regular expression match last. Okay, that's more like it. Yeah, the person is just using dot plus like I tried, but they are anchoring it to the end. So that's not exactly right.
That's
for our case. Right. Oh, and then the negative look ahead that I tried to do, but I didn't remember the syntax of.
Oh, but maybe again, it would have worked.
But again, they are anchoring it to the end of the regular expression, so that's not what would do it for us. And then everyone is talking about anchoring. Yeah, no.
No, but it does say anchoring, doesn't it?
Yeah, the problem is not anchoring. I don't want to anchor to the end of the string. I want to start the search from the end to the beginning. I want to run the regular expression engine from backwards, let's say. Well, all right. Let's just say that it's not a typical thing for regular expression engines to want to do. So in that case, folks, reverse your strings and reverse them back. Was happy with how I solved it, though, as it way outperforms any regular expression solution, but it's a lot more error-prone to write. And yeah, this is the case. I didn't write it that way, I don't think, right? I wrote it, I spelled it out. How did I do it? I spelled it out. Or maybe it was David, I don't know. The first hack is...
I think that was Copilot.
Well, that was you. You are running Copilot. The first hack is replacing 1 with 1, 1, 1, or 1, 1 to make sure you don't break or overlap. Okay. And do that for the other numbers as well. What? I see what you mean. That's so clever. I love this. Do you see this, David?
No, I don't get it. What's he doing? Replacing 1 with...
Yeah.
Oh.
The idea is to replace 1 with the digit 1, but you still want for everything that was before that would have finished in O, or for everything that is after that would start with E, to still be there on the string for you to match the second time around. So in the end, you do this for all the 10 numbers, or all the 9 numbers, because 0 doesn't count in this case. And then you just look at the digits like you used to. So you do a pre-processing step for the strings, and then you run the solution to the first problem that you have written. That's so clever. And then or you can even use this shorthand to make sure you don't break. The idea is just to preserve the overlaps.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. You could do this at the end. I thought about it, but you want to make sure that you don't match again. So nah. I guess maybe what I needed to do was this. If I want to go that route, I'm going to put this. This is what I want to get. This I don't care about. But it must not be... no, it's not that easy because there is no negation pattern for parentheses. There is only a negation pattern for square brackets, and that wouldn't cut it here. So no, I don't think that this would work. I cannot think of a way of making this work. If I just put this in the end, I don't think it would do the right thing. But let's try, because it's easy enough. So again, this is going to find us the 1 in the beginning, and would...
You know what's really cool is that I can see your terminal via VS Code.
Yeah, it still just finds the 1. So that doesn't... Oh, and you wanted to anchor it to the end, which in this case is not going to make a difference, but... Yep, that doesn't work, unfortunately. If only I could get him to look at the chat. I'm looking at the chat! Don't be like that. After you do the replace, you can run your part 1 solution. Yeah. If you read 2 more lines, you have a copy-paste example that works. Oh, it cut out my reg. It's blocked. Look at it. Oh, look at Studio probably. No. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to add you as a moderator, okay? And now you're a standard moderator, and you can paste... All right. See, now you're a moderator for this channel. You can paste anything you want, including links, regular expressions, and what have you. And you can even moderate other people. So when a spammer shows up, you are now part of the group. You're now
elevated permissions.
Now you can kick the person out. Can you please paste again? All right. Well, thank you. So let's see. What have you here? That's essentially what I wrote. Why does it work when you do it? So you're anchoring the beginning and you're throwing everything out. You're throwing everything out at the end, and that's the difference. Silly me. Well, yeah, but it's too much in the 1. It's too much in 1. Well, let's put the thing you have on the left to discard stuff on the left. That was the original idea, and then it does it. Cool! Very cool. So... you're anchoring it to the beginning. I don't think that should matter. it doesn't. And you're discarding everything you see up to when you see that, and then you're discarding everything to the right but eagerly and anchoring that to the end of the string. It does matter. You do need to anchor to the end of the string. No, you don't. It does matter that you are putting this, because otherwise it was just what we had before. No, the problem was the parenthesis all this time. Would you look at that?
Wow.
The idea worked to begin with. Just discard everything you see eagerly, lazily, not even sure anymore. But just discard everything you see along the way as much as you can, and then try and match. This will give you the last one because you're trying to discard as much as you can, but still preserve the match. You don't want to lose the match. So you're going to discard as much as you can without losing the match, and that works. So you don't need this stuff, or I guess you don't need this stuff, and you don't need that stuff. All you need is this.
I guess this kind of challenges how I thought about regexes, because I thought that it would just, I guess by putting it in parens, it prioritizes the group. Because like, I would think it would, okay, I'm reading the regex.
It's not really a matter of parentheses. Sorry, it's not even a matter of prioritization. The matter is that when I had it like this, which I guess now that's how I must have written it, this pipe applies to this.
Right.
It's a matter of operator precedence. Well, this does the right thing. So my idea was right. My spelling of the idea was wrong.
Nice. That's very nice.
And now we all learned.
We did indeed.
Well, sorry, hope to destroy only YouTube. Just a greeting in front, non-greeting in back. I didn't know you didn't have a capture group. Defines capture. Without it, you'd have Yep. Now I think we milked this one to death. Let's wrap this up by deciding when we are going to meet next. So when are you available, David? When are you all available in the chat? Let me know.
I'm available tomorrow morning.
You're available tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
When exactly?
9 a.m., 10 a.m.
Let's do 10 then. So
Okay.
that's going to be 10 a.m. UTC for you all watching all over the world.
Oh, so great being in UTC.
Yeah, it is convenient. But there is potentially a problem, which I'm not sure we are going to worry about. But the problem is, I'm putting it in my calendar. The problem is that according to the rules of Advent of Code, you're not supposed to be streaming before the leaderboards are filled. And we are going to be streaming 5 hours after the problem is released. So the leaderboard may not be filled. So I don't know. But I think it should be fine. People are like crazy and doing these things super fast. Oh. Well, I guess that was the end of the call. And YouTube is not receiving enough video. I guess my stream is just dying here. Oh, the leaderboard fills in minutes. Okay, so that's not going to be an issue. And I'll try and join the call again to say goodbye to David. But while that's going on, okay, so that's not an issue. Okay, then. Well, I read the rules and I thought that people would be strict about following the rules, but apparently people who are in the leaderboards are streaming, so that's fine then. I will not worry about it too much. So it seems like David is off, or maybe Skype is down, who knows. But I do want to say thank you to, well, first of all, the creators of Advent of Code for bringing us all together. It is very nice to be doing this. I do want to thank David for joining me, and we'll be talking again tomorrow morning. And I want to thank everyone here on the chat. NK, CSS, Siwitz, Bo, and John, and Nod was one, and I guess this is Siwitz, right? But anyway, thank you all for joining me here on the chat. And thank you for, even if you're just watching this, you're not on the chat, but you are lurking around, or you're watching this in the future, I appreciate that you are here. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow for more of this. Oh, okay, I'll call you Nick. So thank you, Nick, for being here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of this. I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 10 for more Advent of Code.
Like and subscribe.
Excited. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
All right.
I'm back for the sign off. All right.
Yes.
Sorry
Let's
about
just say goodbye to everyone, because we are signing out now.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the stream. You know how great it has been. Or maybe it sucked, and I am glad that you stuck with me. And soon we'll all be back together for some more coding or talking or chilling. The next time I'll be streaming.